Hello students, we are going to study the second part of the American literature paper, the paper number 3rd, American literature. And as you see on the screen, that American literature is by substance and very much married to the soil that we see in the form of the recent trends and features that we see in the literature. So, what are the features and characteristics of the American literature that we need to go through? We have seen the American dream, the beautiful concept that we observe and that we see in the perennial say continuation even today, that most of the Indians or foreigners are migrating to America just for the career, for the better opportunity, and this better opportunity that we see in the form of the dream, the opportunities that they are waiting for is not just this thing, but it is to them, it is to the American dream that we see. We have seen the confessional poetry is the poetic term that very much recent after the postmodern so-called type of writing that is very much perennial when Sylvia Plath, Robert Lowell and other few minor poets who continued to write in this particular vein, that is the confessional poetry that reveals the inner spirit emotions as if they come naturally into the heart, find expression in the poetic lines. Expressionism, this is related to the drama, as we have seen the excessive use of symbolism, the light, music and setting effect that we see are reflected in the confessional poetry. So, we have the confessional poetry, we see expressionism in American drama. See, as we have seen this particular thing that we find the expression in. So, expressionism is also one of the area that we are going to study. African American poetry in the 20th century. See, the black poetry, black literature by and large continue to express the liberation, the racial discrimination, at the same time the subjugation of and violence against the black, how they were subjugated, how they were marginalized in the white community, that we see in the features and that we have in the poetry. African American drama in the same way, this find expression naturally to their inner spirit, naturally to their inner will, that we see in the drama. Broadway and off Broadway theater, this is also one of the area that we see in the literature and that we find here. So, we have Broadway and off Broadway theater as the type of so called theater. Mostly all the modern, most of the modern dramas that were realistic, that were social, at the same time modern, were staged on this particular theater, and that is Broadway and off Broadway theater. In unit second, we are going to study the play that is also staged on the Broadway theatre, Death of Salesman. This is the modern innovative against the Aristotle's reaction, Aristotle's theory that a higher rank hero can be the hero of the tragedy. But no, in a modern era, even a tragedy is possible of a common man, and that is the assertion that this drama, uh, Death of Salesman, vouchsafe. See, James Baldwin, Blues for Mr. Charlie, is also one of the expressive of the black separatism, black marginalism, at the same time racial discrimination, and that we see in James Baldwin's play, that is Blues of Mr. Charlie. In this particular vein, we have black poetry, Harlem Renaissance leader. Harlem Renaissance is a poetic movement or literary movement. Mostly the poets of the Harlem Renaissance centered in the New York Square, where we have seen that most of the artists have conglomerated, and they fountain, see, they may be called as a fountain of all those literary productions, artistic productions, and that is what we have seen. The tremendous output of the black people came out, and that is what Harlem Renaissance stands for. So out of that, Langston Hughes is called as the leader of the Harlem Renaissance, and we have Mother Tussauds, Democracy, Dream Deferred as the theme that this black issues, black features of literature are reflected. We have Confessional Poet, Sylvia Plath, and 3 poems are by her: Mirror, I Am Vertical, Tulips. These poems are very much effective in the sense, and that we see in the literature. So we are going to study one by another in this particular syllabus. So we will go through the whole syllabus in a sequential way. So first we will go through the background, the terms, because they are the background, they are the features, they are typical features that makes us to go into the examples or the work of arts, and that we need to understand here. So we will go one by one. Then we have poems, and these poems we will go through in the sequence. So let us go through them one after the other. Of course, when we will resume our classes, we will go through that will be much more practical teaching, and that will be much more useful for your better understanding. So a good understanding will result thereafter, because this online has always the limitations, and this may not be called as a perfect one. So let us go through the syllabus. So with this we come to an introduction to the syllabus for the SY based students. Thank you.